The Nintendo Switch is so tantalizingly close to becoming the #1 best-selling video game console of all time. We've discussed it plenty of times before. The PS2 has the crown right now. The DS came very, very close to beating it, but couldn't quite make it. And then, of course, when the Switch got close to 155, which was previously what we thought the PS2 sold, Sony just suddenly realized that they sold 5 million more units than we thought. There's like, we don't have any proof or evidence or anything, but just like, trust us, the number is actually 160. And like, I don't know, I mean, there's this idea like, is that actually sold through or is that just shipped? But if it is just shipped, then like, where are all those extra units? I don't really know, but it's like, okay, fine, sure, whatever. If you're gonna play that way, you can only pull that trick so many times. You know, that's the last ace you had up your sleeve. Fine. 160 is now the number, and the Switch is still a good few million units away. And there was the idea that like if only Nintendo would lower the price of the Switch, make it like a real good budget-friendly system, then they would definitely do it. Treat it like they treated the 3DS, it would sail past that point. Absolutely, especially like the Switch Lite. But then, yeah, they ended up raising the price, which was pretty disappointing. It's like, okay, well, if component prices are going up, then you'd think just keeping it the same price would be kind of like lowering the price. But yeah, the idea is potentially that they didn't want to raise the price of the Switch too much. I mean, they did end up having to raise it anyway, but they kind of made like peripheral stuff, the old system and the accessories and the amiibo and stuff kind of rose that to just sort of make up the cost a little tiny bit. Whatever the case though, Nintendo is not making a super cheap budget console out of the Nintendo Switch. So at this point, it's seeming less and less likely that it's gonna hit the 160 million mark. However, there is now reason for renewed hope. The Nintendo Switch may have one last chance, one last shot in the arm to get it past that 160 million mark. Day Zero Media claims that Nintendo may be about to officially launch the Nintendo Switch in India. Not necessarily the Switch 2. In fact, this would apparently just be the regular old base model Switch, not even the OLED, not the Lite, not anything, just like regular Switch, bringing it to India. And you know, I'm very, very ignorant to every single region has its own history with Nintendo, their ability to import products. I was not aware that apparently Nintendo has not had an official presence in India since like the Wii and DS era. So like for whatever reason, it's been a good number of years since people could officially legally buy Nintendo products in India. But yeah, according to this rumor, Nintendo's gonna be selling the Switch in India in 2027. Now, we must temper our expectations because, you know, the Switch has not been officially available in India this whole time, but it has been available on the gray market. People in India can get their hands on Switches. And apparently not for like a ton of money either. Nintendo reportedly is going to sell the Switch for 20,000 rupees, which is about the price that a person would need to pay right now on the gray market for either a Switch or a Switch Lite. Apparently the OLED is a good bit more. That's more like 35,000-ish. So pricing will be about the same for the base model, and yeah, like you can buy a Switch in India right now. It's not even like, gray market. It's not even like black market. You know, it's a region-free system, so it's probably not even like this really, really difficult, illegal process or anything. So there's a fine chance that plenty of Switches have been sold in India already, and if Nintendo officially sells the product there, then maybe we won't actually see that much of a boost in sales because, you know, the market has already been largely saturated by this product. However, I personally am not super aware of the buying habits of people in India. I know that here in America, if there are like any hurdles when it comes to buying something, that's usually gonna really, really reduce the number of people who are willing to buy that thing. Like, yeah, you know, hobbyists, you get plenty of people who are you know, very passionate about all this, and like, yeah, they'll buy anything from anywhere that they can. But the general public is not really likely to buy something if they can't just go to the store and buy it. And you know, like, yeah, I have not been to India. I don't actually know how readily available these products are. Is this the kind of thing you can just stroll into a store and pick one up? Or is it like kind of a specialty item? You know what I'm saying? Like, how difficult is it? Because yeah, here, it's kind of like, if there's any obstacle whatsoever, then you're gonna get like just a fraction of the people who are willing to take those extra steps, even if it's just a couple extra steps. Like, can I get it on Amazon? Can I get it delivered to my door? Is it at Walmart or Best Buy? If not, then However, what are we in America? We are privileged as heck. We've got access to like everything. They make and sell everything here. It's no big problem at all. Whereas in a lot of other countries, I bet people are a lot more used to like having to go out of their way a little bit to like import a product. So for all I know, this is a regular thing in India. People are like, no, it's no big deal at all. Like, just like, we're used to this. This is something that we gotta do. So yeah, it is possible that maybe there have already been enough Switches sold in India that releasing it officially is not gonna make a really, really huge difference. I really don't know. I have no idea. Maybe some of you listening to this, maybe you have an idea, but I don't. Here's the other thing to consider though. Did you know that India is huge? Did you know that India is very, very, very big? Last I checked, it's got a population of over 1 billion people. Over 1 billion. A significant percentage of the entire world population is in India. So, naturally, that means a pretty darn big potential audience. Need I remind you that 1 billion is 1,000 millions? So, essentially, even if like 0.03%, a fraction of a percent of the population of India decides, hey, look at that, Nintendo Switch. I would love to get one now that I can officially, then that's it. That's 3 million units, and Nintendo's good to go. You know, maybe they don't even need that much, you know? Like, the Switch, it's slowed down a lot, but it is still selling. There's still a chance that over the next year or two, it could still scrape out 1 or 2 million. So if India can toss in just 1 or 2 on its own, then the Switch is good. With a population of that size, if there is any potential audience there, then yeah, I think Switch may have it. But again, I have no idea. I really have no idea. Maybe everyone in India who wanted a Switch already has a Switch, and of course, you know, like, it is the original Switch. This is a practically ancient piece of hardware by this point. Maybe you could argue that, like, oh, Switch 2 is the new thing. That's what everyone wants to play, but like, I don't know. There really is a real enduring power to Nintendo Switch games. It doesn't really matter that the hardware is old. It's still a humongous library of really amazing games. It's still a really amazing little system. And if the Switch offers a good value for the money, then there you go. That's still going to be a plenty desirable product. Yeah, I really don't. 20,000 rupees. I could just directly convert that to USD to get kind of an idea of how much that is. But at the same time, like, that's really just one number. That's probably not going to represent the actual value, the actual number, and how willing people are to pay it. So yeah, I don't know, but this could do it. This I don't know if this is true. If it is true that this is going to happen, it's still technically a rumor at this point, but that could do it. And of course, it goes without saying that this is all silly. Like, I always have to. It is silly. I know, rooting for the multi-billion-dollar corporation and all that, but like, I don't know. I'm a Nintendo fan. You know, Sony's. I have enjoyed Sony products over the years, but at this time, like, no, there's a little part of me, just in the way that you root for a sports team, you know? There's a part of me that would be happy if Nintendo got to take that crown from Sony. I mean, you know, it's been a while. It's been a bit. I mean, you know, rumors are saying that the PS6 is going to be even more expensive and have even fewer games. So, you know, they may just take the crown again at that point. It'll sell 200 million units. But it would be nice if, for a while, Nintendo got to be at the got to be top dog, and then Sony is like, well, yeah, but your system was home console and handheld, so that's kind of like cheating. The PlayStation 2 was just a home console, but then Nintendo was like, oh, yeah, but it was like also a DVD player, so like how many people bought it just because it was a DVD player? And then Sony just decks them. They just just start fighting. They're just tumbling around in the dirt, grappling with each other. And everyone's like, fight, fight, fight.